Hi, welcome back again, my friends, to the show that never ends, either end. Anyway, hi, I'm Eshkalar, and I'm just for success as Cobra Commander. So I'm going to talk to you today about being bored. Now, I watched a lot of television, when both eyes worked and my brain was still open to new thoughts, rehashing of the old thoughts, whatever they call it there. But anyway, and I learned something very, very important along the way. One day, I came to a televised interview with one of the old great jazz men who had played with everyone. Someone like Frank Onamundo or George Benson, who played with everyone, all the great jazz bands, who are able to stand up in that coterie. And people say, like, oh, please have a seat, sir. Okay, so. And this guy, this veteran, had been in all the great bands. He played with Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. He played with George Benson. He played with Oscar Peterson. He played with Monty Alexander. He played with people that aren't piano players, but what do I care? I'm a piano player. So, anyway. But every time the interviewer would ask him about one of these old great talents, like Ahmad Jamal or like Charlie Parker, people that suddenly became prodigies. I mean, even if they were good before, they helped create something brand new, bebop, uh, something incredible, new jazz, whatever that means. The Brazilian jazz fusion movement, yeah, Frank Onamundo, shout out. So anyway, every time he was asked, this veteran was asked, about these rare prodigies that he had worked with, how did they get there? What do you think got them there? Why were they able to do Chud's alert? Stay out of the sewers, kids. Every time he was asked for Charlie Parker, for Billie Holiday, for Oscar Peterson, well, not Oscar Peterson, but some of the other great talents, especially the tragic ones, because that's the ones the interviewer was interested in. And Oscar has no reason to be called a tragedy. Look at his career. Oh my gosh, he exemplified his style of music and was literate and educated and scintillating. So anyway, every time this guy was asked this question, right? What about Charlie Parker? What about Billie Holiday? How did they get there? He said the same damn thing every time. He said, in essence, well, they were able to separate themselves from life for a while and concentrate solely on their art. Every time. 7, 8 different jazz greats. People that your old pal Eshkalar thinks would have been great wizards if there was magic in the world. Yeah. Where I come from, these guys would have been archmages at least. Wow. But here, they became musicians, because what is a better blend of creativity and mathematics than music? Huh? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Ask Wendy O. Williams. Yeah. That's right. Ask David Byrne. Wow. There's a creative talent for you. Anyway. So every time this guy said, well, that person was able to get away from their life and concentrate on their art, to the exclusion of all else. So, what are you doing? You artists out there, you people that put aside art to live life, what are you doing? Are any of you thinking like, this is what I should have been doing all along? Crocheting, cooking, climbing trees, gardening, taking quiet walks in the afternoon with the dog. Wow. Plastic bags, everyone. No one else wants to have their kid come home with your dog's poop on them. That's why the Japanese remove their shoes at the door. They fling a lot of poop over there. Just kidding. So anyway. So while you're trapped, while you don't know what to do, while you're realizing that television is empty of meaning, and it doesn't do anything but make you get old faster to watch it all the time. Go back to those things you put aside. Yeah. Or put your monkey where your mouse is, you zookeeper of the soul. That's right. Start doing that art that you haven't done. Start going back to that moment. Oh, I suck. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Grandma Moses, I think she didn't start painting until she was quite old, but she didn't sell a paint until she was a whole lot older. Vincent van Gogh never sold a painting while he was alive. So you understand that art isn't created as an alternate to making money. Art is the expression of your soul's components that do not get satisfied with your day-to-day grind. You're more than that. You want more than that. You dreamed of more than that once. So return to it. There's nothing in the way except your anxiety. And Eshkalar is going to cast you a spell. You ready? Eb Skidib, Abu Ben Fazali. You can now work past your fears and anxiety. Because old Eshkalar cares about you. Remember that. And that brings us to my my sponsor for today. This is going to be a very difficult election year, as you all know. And I represent, because they gave me drugs, candidates. I'm not allowed to admit that they gave me drugs to a congressional hearing, because that would, there's guys that would not like me for that. So anyway, Vincent came in. I was just talking off the top of my head there. But anyway, but I want you to know that there is only one ticket that will get asses in seats this year in America. A 2020 vision for the United States of America. And I, Eshkalar, am the herald of this prophetic change in the American political system. Are you ready? Are you ready for the greatest candidates that have ever been proposed for any orifice? Here you go. And by the way, remember it was your old pal Eshkalar, who loves you and never asked for money, that brought you this first. I present as candidates for the 2020 election for the president and the vice presidency of the United States, the world's greatest man on the microphone, maybe one of the smartest men ever born. So sharp, that some of his creditors are the great creditors of all time, and they have not been able to bring him down. So if you're looking for a president that can manage a company to destruction and make it the most popular thing in the world in the process, which means it can inevitably rise again, I present to you Paul Heyman. That's right. A genius on and off the mic. A genius at organization. A genius at combining all the disparate elements that create community and keeping it going in the face of every kind of competition, every kind of destruction, every kind of self-destruction of the talents. He is a master. There is none greater. Paul Heyman for president. Now, this takes us to the second point that I have to make about this political ticket. For those of you that don't understand the American system the way Eshkalar does, because I'm an outsider, I see what's really happening, eh? So, what you don't know maybe is that the President of the United States is a guy, and nobody's supposed to like him. Nobody. Not even, name redacted. So, any rate, and the vice president is picked on purpose to be a man so odious, so unpleasant to be around, so absolutely self-absorbed and obviously crazy that no one would want him to be president, so no one would threaten the sitting president. Do you see how that works? It is a tactic. It is a military tactic that works really well when it works. Only idiots would try to spoil something like that. Leave this guy in charge, because look at what you get otherwise. Oh my, Harry Truman. So, okay, so. No offense, Harry. You just slipped right in there like fixing a Jenga. So anyway, his running partner, Paul Heyman, the world's greatest microphone man ever. And if he speaks, if he gives an inauguration speech, there will be 1 billion people watching. You small-time talents got no idea what real talent is like. Paul Heyman is your real talent. He's had help, but he's given help in return. He's a man. He is, you should pardon the expression, a mensch. So, his running partner has to be a person that no one would want to ever be president in the United States, because Paul has enemies. Every good businessman has enemies, and every bad businessman also has. You see how that works. So, anyway, Brock Lesnar. A man nobody wants to hear on the microphone. A man that can just show up at any auditorium, at any speech, at any event, and impress just with his presence. This is the United States. This is the country of freedom. This is the place where a man can rise as high as a man can rise based on his own effort and a really business-savvy wife. So, Paul Heyman for president, Brock Lesnar for vice president, a 2020 vision for the United States of America. This was a compensated political announcement. That's why I'm smiling. Okay, bye. This is Eshkalar signing off about life, the universe, and all that kind of bull.